Okay. What were you just saying, Lori?
Oh, I was just saying that, I listened to these ads on TV or I heard it on the radio, and it was for MetaFast. And, a few months ago I probably would have thought, oh gosh, that's what I need, sign me up. But instead of that, I just got really pissed off because I thought, that's not true. It's not about eating their bars and shakes and taking all their crap and losing the weight. These people, they're going to go off it and gain the weight back because they're not really learning, how to eat when you're hungry, stop when you're satisfied.
Yeah, they're preying on the fact. You'll notice with these commercials, they prey on the fact that people believe that when I lose the weight, I will change my behavior.
Right.
How often have you lost the weight and went back to old behavior?
Yep. Almost every time.
Yep, to assume that, well, when I lose this weight, I'll love it so much that I'll never go back is just a lie. It's like, it's so naive to even assume that that's what's going to occur.
Right. Right.
And so when you're watching these people who've like, never again, they're holding up this clothing, they're preying on the fact that they think you believe, and like it's a cultural agreement. Like, we should all agree that when you lose the fat, you're going to change your behavior with food. Bullshit.
Right.
That isn't working, but yet they still continue to advertise to suck you into that way of thinking, as if the fat is the problem. When it's gone, the problem's gone.
Right.
No. I know. So, I watch them too, and every time I just pity. I actually feel, the anger is a good sign. So you angrily changed the TV or turned it off. Can't even stand it anymore.
Yeah, and then I get angry, but then a part of me really feels sorry for him too, because I just know he would, like you said, they're getting sucked in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like they feel better about themselves. Actually, so many people lose the weight and feel worse because they're vulnerable. Yeah. Because they feel like, well, if I gain this ego and I get all this attention because I've lost all this weight, how will people feel about me when I gain it back? So oftentimes people revert not just from the binge eating disorder, then they end up having exercising disorders, and all of these things they have to do to protect that fragile ego that they're falsely gaining because they lose weight. So they end up having a different emotional problem.
Yep, and then it goes into depression.
Oh, totally. And then imagine, think about the people in the abusive TV show with Jillian Michaels. It's very, very abusive.
Oh, yeah.
Physically abusive. Yeah. Anyways, many of those people gain their weight back. How do you think it feels to lose that weight and cry and be like, my life is so much better on TV, national television, and then to gain it back? How do you think they feel after they gain it back? Worse than they did before.
Yep.
Yep.
And then their life is
defined by it?
Right, and their life now is constantly, nope, I gotta exercise, and, and maybe making better choices, but they're still gonna gain it back if they're not hungry. They eat because it's something good they can eat, but their body doesn't need it.
You got it.
Yeah.
I know. So. I have,
been there.
Well, and to each their own. You know what I mean? Some people, to each their own. However, I'm not a fan of extremism based on the way you look. I think that the choices behind living needs to be much more profound than how much your body weighs. So,
and then I've also, when I had the TV on and I had heard that advertisement that made me sick, then after that they were advertising for a program. It had nothing to do with food, but it had to do with this billionaire and his model wife or something. They're going to build this biggest McMansion. And
with 9 kitchens.
Yeah, I don't know. And all I thought was how gluttonous our world is, and it's just with everything, food and all the things we feel we need, materialistically, and I just thought that is just crappy.
Yeah, I write about this in Weight Loss Apocalypse. What are we compensating for? I mean, we are the country with seriously.
Yeah.
What are we compensating for? I believe a lot of it has to do with the fact that we aren't allowed to be emotionally autonomous. You have to have, we're taught in our culture, and I think as humans, that we aren't good enough. You have to go to church to be good enough.
Yep.
You have to do all these things to be accepted and loved.
Yep.
And none of it is authentic. And it all requires an outside source of validity.
Yep. Yep.
One of the biggest ways we get validity in this culture, especially as women, starting from a very young age, is sexuality and sexual appeal.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You'll notice, too, that a lot of the advertisements, not only in the diet industry, whether it's the mass diet like Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, but more in the kind of niche diet marketing, is stomachs of women's abdominal area. The smallness of the waist, the leanness of the abdomen. How many pictures of a woman's stomach do you see in a day?
So many that we're even, desensitized to it.
Well, we're being given a message. Your stomach has to be lean and beautiful. That's what we're doing. That makes us, oh my God, I actually have a compilation of advertisements that just have women's stomach and words, the pictures with words on them, like toning, joy, like how, like the stomach of your body is how you're being defined as a woman. Just the stomach alone.
Yeah.
That you probably weren't aware of until I just said, hey, start counting how many stomachs of women's midriff you get to see today. Mm-hmm. Tell me how it makes you feel every time you see one. How does it make you feel when you see that svelte line and the curve of the stomach and the waist? How does it make you feel?
Yeah, it makes me, now...
Like you haven't attained it.
Right. Now it ticks me off, but before I would have felt like I wasn't good enough, and I needed to do that.
Well, the sad part, too, is who is putting those pictures on the internet? Women. Mm-hmm. And it's really sad. Mm-hmm. Men would be putting pictures of boobies and...
Right.
Yeah. Butts.
Yep.
High heels, which women do, too. I like those pictures. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The stomach in particular. But yet, as women, our stomachs are the most vulnerable. Because where do you gain skin when you bear children?
Mm-hmm. In the stomach.
Mm-hmm. Think about that.
Yep. I know a lot of people that are, they were probably fairly fit before they had a baby. They had their baby. They're fairly fit now, but they're still not happy because of, the stomach, the skin, the stretch marks, the loose skin. Yeah. Then they're spending thousands of dollars for the tummy tuck and...
Oh, yeah, and to hide it. Like, we should be ashamed of that.
Yeah.
We have a major conflict with the food, how we're supposed to eat, what you're entitled to eat, the social pressure to eat, the family pressure to eat, but yet you have to have this stomach and midriff that is so lean and so cut, that is perfect skin, that has the belly. Don't forget the stomach piercings, the stomach necklaces, or a stomachless, whatever you want to call it. I mean, all of that just to feel better about who you are as a person. And these pictures are being shown to girls at a very young age. So it's indoctrinated. You've been indoctrinated by the diet industry that this area of your body is what makes you valuable. It's what makes you sexy. It's what makes you motivated. Yeah. It's why you do all of this crazy, obnoxious, over-the-top, abusive exercise. It's why you starve yourself, because that's the outcome. That's what you get from the diet industry. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about it? Am I starting to really get you riled up now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, don't be a victim. Just don't believe it anymore.
No.
It becomes obvious once you kind of see it all for what it is. All of a sudden, it's just like, oh my God, you feel sorry for people who truly believe that lie.
Yeah. I'd rather stay the way I am, but be, healthier emotionally, and
well, and accept the outcome of what happens when you get older and as you age, and what happens when you have babies, and keep in touch with what's true to your value. If you lose touch with what is you and what makes you very valuable, you're more likely to find security in something that is describable. Does that make sense? Can you really describe the value of your children? No. I mean, think about that. Mm-hmm. But if they don't have a sense of their value, they're going to lean towards things that can be described, such as, I am this religion, I do this, I have this car, I have this type of phone. It's very describable by an object or an action. I have this education. I've done this. And we one-up each other as if, we've got to find the way we feel about ourselves is relative to how much better we are than someone else.
Right.
Or physique-wise. When I grew up, it makes total sense to me why I end up having the psychological illness I did in regards to body image disorder. I got sucked into those pictures. You want to know why? Because I did have that body. I got a lot of attention from about the age 11 on for my physique. And that became a huge asset to how I evaluated myself. Even though I knew it wasn't true to my character, I've always been goofy. Mm-hmm. I've always been kind of outgoing and loud, and which was a downside to me, So so for me, when I became vulnerable to just living life, can you see why I gravitated towards controlling my body? Because it was the one thing that made me valuable.
Right. Which
is why I had to exercise for 2 hours a day, why I had to purge the food up through exercise or vomiting, why it became my identity when everything else wasn't working well. Mm-hmm. So when we focus on you, what has become your identity? That's the hardest part with kind of binge and diet. What I call a diet disorder is the fact that you have two disorders. It isn't just that body image disorder, but you have a need to overeat too, which conflicts with your body image disorder. Right. So you have two conflicting disorders.
Right.
And it's not necessarily, it's maybe more balanced, you could argue, than someone who has anorexia or obsessive compulsive exercising disorders, which is all in one. It's like putting your eggs in one basket. Mm-hmm. You've got your eggs in two baskets, and they're both very confusing and conflicting. So you have a polar swing from all, nothing, and the whole time you hate your body. It doesn't matter if you lose the weight or not, you hate your body.
Right.
That's why as you've done this protocol, even as you've lost a significant amount of size and weight, you're sabotaging. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anyways, do you have something to say? Because I've just basically taken over the conversation.
No, it's good to hear it all again, and the more that I hear it, the more that I see it out around me, and the more ticked off I get, and the more I'm wanting to even just live in the moment.
Yeah, and just seek out who am I and what makes me awesome, because that's really what your focus has needed to be this whole time.
Yep, and then it's not about, when I get to that size, I'm going to, wear this, or I'm going to look like that.
And celebrate with this food.
Right, exactly. So.
Thank you for sharing this.
Yeah, you're welcome.